I just got an idea for something called Dad's Lawn Wild, to where we can dress up as our ultimate dad selves and mow the lawn and turn it into, I don't know, like a calendar or a video or a page or something called Dad's Lawn Wild.
I'm
sweating through the white T-shirt after mowing.
I have to see if that's a Facebook group, because if not, it will be.
It's not. I mean, hell, if we could make a whole podcast called Dad's Lawn Wild.
Hold on now. You couldn't just be any white T-shirt. There has to be a lot of holes in that T-shirt, preferably around the neck and armpit area.
Nipples too.
Google domains.
You buy the domain, I'll make the Facebook group.
Thank you.
Just because we don't need them doesn't mean you don't want to see them and touch them.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Is that the catchphrase for it?
I don't know. It's just a thought I had.
One of my nipples is just fine. The other one looks like Steve Buscemi's eye.
Aerials.
And go to checkout. Do today.
Were you trying to think of
renew is on?
Were you trying to think of a pun for areola?
Yeah, and all I came up with was aerials.
I knew you were.
Raviola.
Why are you?
I don't know.
Why are any of us, Marcus?
I don't know. Why is there existence rather than non-existence? I've been pondering this all day.
I am now the owner of dadslawnwild.com, and no one can take it from me. And if you come for me, I will hit you with the lawn tractor.
Dad's Lawn Wild.
Gosh, I can see the late night TV now. That's a pretty good lawnmower, wasn't it? That was pretty.
Hola a todos, soy Dan Holland y nunca me quitaré la máscara.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer, and this is bloody disgusting!
I'm Marcus, the AI bot. I am Electric Man.
I'm Austin Tiny Zent, and I'm in danger.
We all might be in danger. In this episode of Nerd It Through the Grapevine, the podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture.
And do you all know what time it is?
No.
It is not. You do not know what time it is because it is not time for Tiny's Terrible Tabs.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, see how I just tricked you all.
Fake me out.
Now, here's the thing. We've all heard of conspiracy theories. We know what they are, right? It's something that you hear that may or may not be true, but it's usually about something pretty sketch. Well, I'm coming at you with a conspiracy fact. This is factual. It is not from the mother source, but it is from the website Birds Aren't Real, because as we all know, birds aren't real. Like, have you ever touched or held a bird? No, you haven't, because they're not real.
Do macaws count as birds, or are they too big?
That's not a bird. That is a government spy drone.
Oh, well, I've touched one of those.
It's been specifically planted in your house to observe you.
Okay, I'll bite. What about the birds I just saw outside?
They're spy drones.
What's a chickens? What about when I eat the chickens?
That's not an actual bird, because you get a whole chicken and you reach inside of said chicken and you pull out that bag of guts.
The nuggets, yeah.
No, whatever is in there to make giblet gravy, be it chicken and or turkey.
It's nuggets.
There is no attachment points inside of that bird carcass. If you look, it's just
nuggets.
Just an empty hole with some bones. It all starts with the CIA, as things often do.
Oh, God.
In 1947, the CIA was founded, and its sole responsibility was to watch and survey Americans suspected of doing communist activities. This orchestrated stalking epidemic went on for about 5 years, and very few people were found guilty of anything.
It was called the Red Skull.
Yes. However, it became clear in the early 50s that the threat of communism was only going to rise, somehow. And a broader system was needed to track any individual who was suspected of such activities. The fears were only encouraged when, in 1951, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were wrongly arrested and convicted of espionage against the United States, accused of spying on behalf of the Soviet Union. The highly publicized event gave the government a small window to implement a new program that would place the first CCTV surveillance cameras in areas with high Russian immigrant concentration. And in 1953, Allen Dulles was made the first civilian director of the CIA, and his mission was to ramp up surveillance programs. He was quoted with saying, if only we could put cameras in the sky. So an initiative took place. They got 22 people from the Boeing company and hired them to go to Area 51 and create 120 B-52s, which that's a stealth bomber to the layman. They were hired. They were picked up in the city where Boeing is. It's an impronounceable name in Washington.
No one has ever been able to say it.
It's something with an M. It is wild. Look it up. I'm not even going to attempt it.
What if that's a conspiracy in itself?
I mean, it could
that
be.
Location.
It could be. They got these individuals together, and they hired them to go to Area 52. So they told them to be low key and to not, be noticed. Well, they get on the bus and they write like Area 52 or Area 51 or bust or something on the side. They loaded up with like rugs and camping paraphernalia.
Honk if you love aliens on the back of the bus. Yeah,
all these things that are not sneaky snake stuff because they're stupid American civilians like most of us.
Yeah, like me.
And so when they stopped at gas stations and stuff, they'd roll out these rugs and camp for the night on their drive out to Nevada.
Sound like a bunch of hippies.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Do hippies make planes?
UFO
apparently these
culture and hippie culture, definitely.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Definitely pretty similar.
Yep. Well, this was an old school bus, too, that they had converted for the trip.
Even more so,
yeah,
leaning more towards hippies.
Exactly. So so you see that and you're like, man, this is pretty sus. Well, they eventually make it there, and over the course of 2 years, they make the B-52B. And where the bombs generally go, they use giant water tanks that weighed roughly 40 pounds apiece. So they fit those in there, and they filled them with a substance. Because you ask, well, what happened to the birds? Because at that time, birds were real. And now birds are not real.
So it's not that birds have never been real.
Exactly.
It's that birds have been replaced.
We as in the American government, did a forced extinction of the birds here. Now, there could be birds in other countries. My research has not gone that far because, I'm mainly concerned about us.
The thing is, I would feel really weird if we were listened to in other countries and that somebody actually heard like that the American government has, removed birds from existence back in the 50s and now have replaced them with more and more scientifically advanced drones throughout the years.
Because we're up to the 60s at this point.
Oh, geez.
And, any technology that the government shows us is like way outdated for them. It might be new and hip and cool for us, but they have, top secret things that they have that they're not going to show us because top secret, that's a thing. So using these B-52Bs, like I said, with these water tanks in place of bombs, they started Operation Water America. So inside of these tanks, they placed a solution of water and a neurotoxin.
I thought you said, what are America?
No, water. Water America. So water with poison suspended inside of it. And then they flew across the country and they just let it rain. This poison was specifically developed to pretty much disappear by the time it hits the ground. Like it evaporates very quickly. So the idea was to fly over the tops of birds and get them wet. And once they get wet, that liquid will absorb into their feathers to their skin and make its way into their bloodstream and causing them to basically deteriorate within 24 hours. So there's not even a carcass left.
Every time you say B-52B, I think of like a bee-sized little bitty plane that they were going around stinging all the birds. Could that be just as plausible?
No.
That the B-52B is a little tiny like bee,
No.
like a buzz.
No.
Yeah, I could see that.
that
Where
can kill birds.
it would be implausible just because by the time the microtechnology came around to invent that, the birds were already all gone and dead anyway.
Yes.
Dang it.
It
Be funnier.
It only took a few months to actually wipe out all the birds.
You know, that explains why you see all these giant flocks of birds flying in those really crazy looking signal formations and everything within themselves, because they're actually just, transmitting government signals, so you can actually see them riding the waves.
Exactly.
Not you too.
And so they built small cameras and fashioned them to look like birds. I mean, granted, the first ones are very primitive looking, but so was the technology to view birds back then. So
Binoculars. The end.
yeah, I mean, have you ever actually used binoculars? They're kind of weird.
I
They're
don't care
hard to
for them.
focus in at a little spot. I prefer the monocular because I can open just one eye and beam into where I want to go, then switch eyes and then focus in.
That's like in the Star Wars, right? But they've got the binocular. It's like a singular thing, right? Like a one thing.
Yeah,
that you look through with both of them.
but it's still a binocular because
Yeah.
they're using both
Both-
eyes
both-
instead of one eye.
Oh, it's about your eyes.
It's about
not-
your
not
eyes. Right.
Not the thing itself.
Exactly.
When you're
Yeah, okay.
using a monocular, though, it's just like almost like a little handheld thing like this, where you can focus in. But it could also be that same thing like a pirate uses whenever they're they're pulling
Yeah.
out the.
I mean, that is also monocular. I can bring mine
Are
if
they?
you want. And you can play
So
with
it's just
it.
a thick monocle, like a real thick monocle.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'll bring mine and let you play with it.
Have we talked about how the Monopoly guy doesn't have a monocle?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
I think I actually talked about that. I talked about Monopoly.
What about the Pringles guy? Does he have a monocle?
I don't think he's
Nope.
nautical. No.
No, he doesn't.
No, he has no ship.
No.
So the birds now obviously are way more sophisticated than they were in the 60s when birds were specifically wiped out. The problem lies, I think, in the fact that they didn't really study what birds looked like, especially on the insides, because people are going to say, well, I've cooked a whole chicken and a whole turkey and a whole duck. Well, guess what, Scooter? They couldn't even decide on what the meat looked like because the chicken has both light and dark meat. The turkey has light and dark meat, but you know what? The duck is all dark meat. How is that a thing? That's impossible. Somebody made it up. They're fairy tales.
Yeah,
know,
it's a quackpot theory.
It was a really big mistake on the people who designed the duck. It was a waterfowl, actually.
I hate y'all. I hate you.
He was still
Some bitch, I got it.
he was still recovering from mine, and then you hit him with another one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, bird watchers must feel pretty silly, right? I mean,
they're somehow convinced that those birds are real,
right.
but yet they've never touched one of them.
Ooh, what if bird watchers are actually the CIA members now, like keeping tabs on the drones?
Yeah.
Like they're making
Could
all
be.
their notes in their little notebooks.
Or actually repairing ones that
Right.
are damaged.
That's why they always get so freaking excited whenever they find the ones with those little tags on them.
they're like, it's a
Yeah,
red-footed booby face,
Or maybe
or
once,
whatever a bird is.
Or maybe once they people that worked in the CIA die, like they just warg into birds and still report on us stupid citizens.
So they've moved
Could be.
beyond mechanical, and it's now organic. Like they
Maybe.
Well, then how
taken
do-
the people. And
Well, it must be a slow process because I still see the birds sitting on power lines recharging themselves. Because, batteries only last for so long.
So what do you say to the skeptics?
Yeah, what do you say to me? Let's pretend I'm a skeptic. And
Okay,
let's
well,
Pretend I don't
and
believe
that
you.
I don't believe that birds aren't
Anything.
real.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay,
just say
well-
that hypothetically.
I feel like I've gave you a lot of proof. Do you
Okay.
have a specific question? Because it's hard to just go, after laying out all this information,
Right.
to know what parts that you're not
Right.
following.
I do in this current moment. I have more information on why they aren't real than I have on why they are real.
Yes.
So if we're going by pure ratio of knowledge now, you're winning. But I don't know. I think
Well,
I'm
the
just-
burden of proof still lies on you, sir.
So
you've made a
That
grand
was a good
claim.
one.
Yeah.
Burden
and I've
of
presented a lot of evidence.
Yes, but now you would have to demonstrate it to me. Anyway, we don't have to go through
Yeah.
skepticism.
Well,
we can just believe it, can't we? Just for the hell of it.
There is a bird that has built a nest.
supposed bird.
I'm using air quotations here. There's a bird that has built a nest outside of this house. If we can somehow capture it and open it, we can find out if it's got the mechanics on the inside of it to suit the claims.
Or if it's
Yes.
got nuggets. Because maybe all birds have nuggets. They're just smaller than chickens.
Yeah, well, I always thought that the dinosaurs evolved into chickens. That's what I was always taught.
If the CIA killed dinosaurs, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because
Well, maybe
chickens count.
You've seen alligators and crocodiles.
So when I'm eating chicken nuggets, dinosaur.
You're
I've
eating.
tasted the meat of the dinosaur.
No, you're eating some genetically modified something
Yeah.
or something that's purely grown in a lab that's supposed to make you think
Yeah.
that it's chicken nuggets.
What if nuggets come from trees?
Oh
I
man,
mean,
that's a nugget of information I'm gonna have to chew on.
That's the idea.
And I'll do that. Marcus, are you gonna make it through this pun-heavy situation?
my heart's racing.
Oh, I can tell you have a stress ball type thing in your hand right now.
I
that
do.
you're
It's
trying
a
not
stress
to rip
guy.
open. This is a stress guy. So I'm doing something tomorrow night that I've never done before. And no, Tiny, it's not that. I'm going to be watching Lucha Libre, which is Mexican wrestling. It translates to freestyle wrestling, but everyone knows it because it's Mexican wrestling. It's the masked wrestlers, the high flyers. It's basically WrestleMania in Mexico, and it's called Triple Mania because there's like the AAA organization is what owns that wrestling federation thing. Anyway, not to get into that. I just feel like before I looked this up, I know nothing about like luchadors or lucha libre, like at all whatsoever. And I figured it would be fun to learn a little bit before I watch all these matches because maybe I might see some significance in things that happen.
Yeah.
And then of course I was like, well, this is just something I could talk to you guys about and everybody that listens to this. And as I was going through the mother source, through Wikipedia, learning about this, I found myself clicking links within links and just looking at so much stuff and getting excited because I've never even really been a huge wrestling fan, I guess you could say.
Wrestling?
Wrestling.
I know what that is.
I've enjoyed it. I've had my time of, loving Sting, Goldberg and Stone Cold, those guys. But
Dwayne.
Of course, but Dwayne transcends all of wrestling.
well, a lot of our current wrestlers actually started as lucha libres.
I do have a few on this list that we will talk about with that too.
The guy from the band Fozzy.
Chris Jericho.
Yes, he was one of them that started as a lucha libre.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I didn't
he
see
had
that.
like 2 or 3 different names.
Yeah.
I heard it on his podcast actually,
Oh,
and
that's
then
cool.
he came to America.
Yeah.
And then he brought his name from being a luchador to America at first before he got the persona of Chris
that's cool.
Jericho and became the bad guy.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So in Mexico, Lucha Libre is the second most popular sport behind soccer.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That's
crazy.
insane. And it's in wrestling here. I mean, it's very popular, but when you look at it compared to any other like sport that we have in the country, like the big, baseball, basketball, football, even golf, things like that, tennis, like all these things are above, I think, the popularity of wrestling, I would say.
I think American wrestling peaked, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes.
Yep.
And then there's still some faithful few out there right now that still watch wrestling. Hell, the Rooster is a diehard
Oh,
wrestler.
absolutely. And the wolf.
And the Wolf.
And I got to meet Hulk Hogan, so suck it.
you did. The masks are like the main symbol for a luchador. And they started off basic colors, and now they're a lot more elaborate. So before it was more like being able to tell, which person was which person, because you've got people, especially if they're in the same weight class, wearing the same mask as one another and being mainly the same nationality. It's very hard to tell who's who. So they were just regular basic colors. But now you see some of these things and they are magnificent. Like they've got symbols for like different gods and different I don't know, all different kinds of animals and stuff like that. Like they're really cool.
Because like ours is more like a soap opera.
Yes.
And theirs is almost like a tale of heroes.
It's like superhero.
Yeah.
It's like watching superheroes battle it out.
And they won't remove their mask.
Exactly. It's actually a foul to do so during a match.
And their style is just like way more kind of superhero-esque.
It is.
Like, I don't know much about it too, but I mean, I've always loved Ultimo Dragon
Yes.
from
Oh, yeah.
WWE, and just his move set on some of the video games were just absolutely the best.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio Jr. That's
Oh, my
another one.
gosh.
Yes.
The Hurricane Rada, whenever they loop them with their legs and sling them around.
Yeah,
They can do so many acrobatic things that, and especially even at their ages too, because they get into like their late 30s, 40s and stuff like that, and they're still able to do this high flying stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's insane.
So
No
let's-
wonder it's so popular.
Let's be luchadors then.
We're
in our 30s.
Oh, we're going to. We're going to. At the
Yes.
end, while I'm doing this, I need us all to think of what we would want to be as luchadors.
I already know.
So, yeah, it's a foul during a match to remove anyone's mask. It's like the ultimate penalty, like doing that. And a mask can actually be wagered to be removed permanently for a match. So they have different types of matchups that they can do. And they're not always these matchups, but these are like the high stakes ones. The highest stake, well, actually the highest stake is career versus career, to where they actually have a match to where the loser retires, like they're done from wrestling. Like they don't come back as another character; they're just done. And and of course, yes, we know this is all staged and all planned out, but it's epic for people that follow it. You've been watching these basically superheroes fight one another for years. But so the different matches, the ones that I can remember are the mask versus mask, which is two luchadors to where the winner gets to keep their mask and the loser loses that persona. Like, so their mask is taken off in the middle of the ring. Everyone sees them for more than likely the first time, because a lot of these luchadors will go out in public with their masks on still, because they have these personalities that are so big that everyone sees them. Like they just live that life outside as well. So the loser will have their mask removed. They'll normally say like their real name, how long they've been wrestling and stuff, just kind of like an introduction of who they really are. But it's also this like very shameful thing, you just lost your superhero status basically.
yeah.
But some of these wrestlers, and a lot of them, will continue as non-masked wrestlers. And there are some that even start without the mask. They just don't want the gimmick. They're maskless. But then they could also eventually have a different mask, but they have to make a new like persona, like to continue fighting masked. And then another one is mask versus hair, to where a loser can either, so if you're already maskless, you can have your hair shaved off like in the middle of the ring if you were to lose the match, and that's also like losing like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a big penalty for me.
You and I, but what if it was beards? Exactly.
I could not.
So
You'd have to win.
yeah, and you can
I would kill a man.
you can you can still you can still do like a hair versus hair match even if you are masked as well. They'll just remove the mask to where the hair can be seen and then the hair shaved off, and it's still like this whole like, I don't know, part of you is being taken away because you just lost this fake wrestling match. A lot of the teams in Lucha Libre are family based, so a whole family lineage will be luchadors with one another just as they get older. There's a lot of juniors, a lot of grandchildren, and a lot of times their names are based on like the grandchildren, the grandchild of blank, of the wrestler.
Nice.
Many years before.
Just like in the WWF when you had, it might have been WCW. I can't remember at this
World
point.
Wildlife Federation?
No, that's not. Well, that's not what they were. It was World Wrestling Federation at that point. And then they became WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. But Eddie Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero Jr. were involved in that, and then they were both a part. Yes, it was WCW, because then they were both a part of the Wolfpack, the Red NWO, and their thing was, was like family. It was a family, Viva la raza, forever,
Yes.
kind of thing. That's what they would always say.
That's and the whole family aspect of it too, especially in Lucha Libre. Whenever they're the honor that's removed from them, whenever their mask is removed, if they're a part of this lineage of this family, let's say like maybe their father or grandfather, like they've never had their mask removed or something, like that's a big deal for you to be like the first one to have that removed. Again, as I say a lot of this stuff, it almost sounds like I'm convinced it's real.
You're right.
And it's not
still
but,
real to me, damn it.
But the feelings behind these luchadors, like it is real. Like their feelings of like this is who they are as characters. I mean, they're real life superheroes, and it means something to them whenever things like this happen. And there's a men, a women's, and a minis division of
Is that little people?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And a lot of them are like almost considered, I think they were called mascots for the non-mini versions of the wrestlers. So anyone under 5 feet would be in the mini division, and anyone over 5 feet would be in the
Maxi division?
The Maxi division. There you go.
Do they have a David versus Goliath matchup?
That'd be incredible.
That
but
would be
I don't
so
know.
awesome.
That sounds very American. I don't know if they do it there.
I mean, they might
But
call
they
it something different.
They
like,
might. No, not the name, but just the thing.
Yeah,
But that is
mean,
funny.
That would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
That would be awesome.
But a lot of times they will look like they'll have the same mask, the same everything as the Maxi version of them, and I just think that's awesome. Like that is so cool. Yes. Kind of the history of it. Like I don't want to get too boring with history stuff, but I try to get. There's a really important character that comes into play because in 1933, the Empresa Mexicana de Lucha Libre, the Mexican wrestling enterprise, began, and in the 50s, whenever TV came about and was popular, that's whenever it exploded, and a lot of people were super into it. But the one wrestler that stood out over everyone else, his name is El Santo, which translates to the Saint. And he's like an epic legend in Mexico. And in Lucha Libre, he is the legend. And he was a symbol for justice for the common man. And he wore an all-silver mask, and it had never been removed, even in a private setting with people that were outside of his like family. So even his close friends, he kept the mask on like at all times. His nemesis was called Blue Demon, and he eventually beat Blue Demon's like sidekick and in a mask versus mask match. So he got to remove the mask of Blue Demon's sidekick, and I think that's what made Blue Demon come over to the face side, because in Lucha Libre there's also the face and the heel, the good guy and the bad guy, but they don't really flip-flop around as much as they do in America. Like a lot of times they'll just stick with that. I mean, if they have the same mask, they try to keep that same, persona going throughout the whole thing, but sometimes they'll switch. So El Santo, he started in the 40s, and his career was almost 50 years long.
Goodness.
Wow. It's insane. He had a comic series that ran for 35 years. He starred or co-starred in 52 different movies. And I think only 2 of those he was like a different character, but still in his luchador mask, but he was El Santo in at least 50 of those. And at one point he helped Batman defeat Bane in the comic book series Batman 66.
Oh my gosh.
It's based on the TV show, but it's the comic series that came out a few years back, which is awesome because Bane's mask is a luchador mask. But Bane is actually not from Mexico. He was from South Africa. So that's an interesting fact too about Bane, because I always thought he was just, from Mexico being a luchador guy, but it's just his mask. So El Santo also, he died a week after finally revealing his face on TV.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was his announcement of his retirement, was removing his mask for the first time ever.
And he died a week later.
He died a week later
so
after
that
it aired.
tells me never take off the mask.
Don't take off the mask.
I mean,
Just
I
do it.
literally just bought one on Amazon, and I'm not going to take it off. It even had a hole at the bottom for my beard.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Just the dedication to the character.
There were 10,000 people at his funeral.
Wow.
10,000 people. It was like,
he was a national treasure.
Yes, he was.
It would be
And
like,
still is.
Honestly, if you've got sports stars, if you're ranking them in Mexico, you've got soccer, then you've got the Lucha Libre stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If they're number 2 and he died, it would be almost like Michael Jordan passing away.
Was Nick Cage at the funeral?
Maybe.
Because we know he hunts national treasures.
Damn it, Tiny.
That sucks.
That sucks, but it's so funny.
Yep.
Damn it.
You hate how much you love it, don't
And of
you?
course, he was buried in his mask. He wanted to be buried in his
Awesome.
mask, and I think
Are you
that's
serious?
Yes.
As
That's
he
so
should have
epic.
been.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
I'd hate for him to get to the afterlife and nobody know who he is.
Right?
We mentioned a few different popular in America luchador-based wrestlers, but Rey Mysterio Jr. is one that's known by most people that watch wrestling like through the 90s, early 2000s. And he actually lost a hair versus mask tag team match in 1999 against Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
I remember that.
And so Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were going to have to shave their heads if they lost. And he and his team were going to be maskless. And after the match was over with, he, like, this is a quote from him. And this quote, like, really let me know, like, how big of a deal this is for them. He said, "I was strongly against it. I don't think WCW understood what the mask meant to me, my fans, and my family. It was a very bad move on their behalf. The fans wanted Rey Mysterio with the mask, and losing it hurt a lot. It was also frustrating that it didn't come as a climax to a feud with another masked wrestler, but a throwaway match. I think the fans understand I was in a position where I had no option. I either had to lose my mask or lose my job." And that's crazy because America, like, U.S. wrestling doesn't give a shit. They're like, we don't care what, you know, it means to be a luchador. Like, we don't care.
And he was a big star.
incredible. Oh yeah, incredible. He was the face of luchador wrestlers at the time here in America. But they just didn't care, and that sucks because like it means so much to them. And he was just a gimmick for the U.S. scene of it, as opposed to, like, to him, he is a luchador. Like, I don't know. It just, when I read that, it just hurt my heart.
It does,
like,
because
man,
I always liked Rey Mysterio because he actually was in WCW before he went to WWE.
Yes.
But then when he got to WWE, he kind of blew up a lot. He was more popular than he was when he was WCW.
Oh, for sure. And he deserved that. Like, 'cause he was
Absolutely.
incredible.
And he used to wear those white contacts too. It was so
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah.
It's just so huge with his culture and not with ours that it just sucked to see that happen to him. Fans will tip if they feel the fight was worth more than they paid by throwing money into the ring.
Oh my God.
That's
And
awesome.
it's awesome because that's like the ultimate compliment of their, like, whatever the ticket price was, what you just gave us was so much better than that. And they will throw cash into the ring, and the luchadors will keep it and not spend it. They'll put it in like a vase or like a special box or place with a date on it as like a token of like that appreciation and them keeping it. Like, they will not spend it. That is so cool. That is so cool.
That is really cool.
Yes. Nacho Libre with Jack Black was actually based on Father Sergio Gutierrez Benitez, a Catholic priest who made money for his church by wrestling as Fray Tormenta, which means Friar Storm. He used those winnings to also support an orphanage for 23 years as he wrestled, and he still wears his mask when he preaches.
That's one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
I know, and the movie is dumb as Nacho
I've
Libre
never
is
seen the
based
movie,
after based after such a like cool person. Strong Bad from Homestar Runner,
Yeah,
luchador,
you're correct.
and already talked about Bane being that. So real quick, my luchador name would be El Desvio, and El Desvio is the detour. And I would wear an orange and black mask with an arrow coming down the front, like pointing down. And I would get teased by heels being called Cabeza de Calabaza, which is Pumpkinhead.
Nice.
I already know how I'd be teased.
Nice. So I'm thinking Cuervo de Sangre, which is Blood Raven. And so
That's incredible.
I would think like my mask would kind of be black and maybe some red and silver and kind of look like a raven's beak, like right here at the nose.
Yes.
And just kind of like maybe even paint my skin like corpse white, because I kind of want to blend like this Undertaker, Kane, Sting, the Crow kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, just put a different kind of spin on that kind of dead man
I love it.
wrestler character.
So do I actually have to say it in Spanish? Because my phone can say it for
Okay,
me.
well, put the phone up to the thing and
Okay.
press the thing.
Puños de auge.
That's
Okay.
That's boom fists.
Okay. Oh, of course.
It's a callback.
Yes,
I mean, it'd be mainly black mask, but it looks like a fireball coming from the center of my face, moving to the exterior of my face. Obviously, there's going to be like a mouth opening so my beard can hang free.
Right.
And that's it. Boom fists.
That's
or that Spanish thing that I can't say.
Yes.
I too would have a opening at the bottom for my beard to roam free, but my entire mask would be gold and white on the sides only. My suit that I would wear, I would start off with a white tuxedo jacket on the outside of my gold luchador suit and white boots. I would be called Relambago de Ora, Gold Lightning.
Hell yeah.
And Gold Lightning has a mini.
Oh, that's so good.
Representing in the mini leagues.
Would it be Gold Thunder?
Pequeño Trueno. Little Thunder.
Yes.
Yes, I'm on board for all of this.
Oh, and my sister who is listening, who speaks very good Spanish. I'm sorry for all the things we've butchered during this.
I tried
but
real hard.
I think we did good. Tiny, you did perfect because
Yes.
a computer did it for
Yes.
Tell Dane how much better I did than him.
You did a very good job.
This is Austin with the Shazam, not the Tiny.
you. I thought I did a good job. But now we officially have Lucha Grapevine canon for our personas.
Cuervo de Sangre is the greatest. So, I would like to read you all a short tale before we get into my topic.
Ooh.
And it is called The Crumpled Sandwich,
Oh, yeah.
a short story by an artificial bot. Lauren Parker was thinking about Molly Norris again. Molly was a clumsy lawyer with hairy thighs and ruddy eyes. Lauren walked over to the window and reflected on her backward surroundings. She had always loved derelict Exeter with its zesty, zany zoos. It was a place that encouraged her tendency to feel ambivalent. Then she saw something in the distance, or rather, someone. It was the clumsy figure of Molly Norris. Lauren gulped. She glanced at her own reflection. She was a ruthless, selfish brandy drinker with fast thighs and chubby eyes. I don't know why I get hung up on that. Her friends saw her as a light, late lover. Once, God, this is so stupid.
Get it? It's going to get dirty.
Once, she had even helped a hushed kitten cross the road.
Aw.
But not even a ruthless person who had once helped a hushed kitten cross the road was prepared for what Molly had in store today. The hail pounded like boating maggots, making Lauren sleepy. Lauren grabbed a crumpled sandwich that had been strewn nearby. She massaged it with her fingers.
God.
I told you it's going to get dirty.
As Lauren stepped outside and Molly came closer, she could see the beautiful glint in her eye. I am here because I want a Wi-Fi code, Molly bellowed. In a considerate tone, she slammed her fist against Lauren's chest with the force of 8,372 gerbils.
That's a lot. That's like more than 10.
Damn near killed her.
I friggin' love you, Lauren Parker, she says. Lauren looked back, even more sleepy and still fingering the crumpled sandwich. Molly, do, she replied. Sorry, that's literally what it says. They looked at each other with healthy feelings, like two healthy hushed hummingbirds bouncing at a very cold-blooded wake, which had orchestral music playing in the background and two virtuous uncles cooking to the beat. Lauren regarded Molly's hairy thighs and ruddy eyes. She held out her hand. Let's not fight, she whispered gently. Humph, pondered Molly. Please? Begged Lauren, with puppy dog eyes. Molly looked ambivalent, her body blushing like a rich red ruler. Then Molly came inside for a nice glass of brandy. The end.
God.
Yes. Oh, what an epic love story.
Oh, I love it so much.
So, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like, I guess I just found myself, reading weird stuff on the internet. And just, like, we live in a world where computers can write stuff, but we're kind of in, like, the toddler phase.
I don't know. I thought that was a pretty epic adventure.
Hairy thighs
It was a
and
very-
ruddy eyes.
Molly Don't. I don't know what that I don't know what that was.
Spelled D-O.
D''OH.
No, that's Homer Simpson.
Molly, don't. So Molly, don't.
So
Oh God.
I don't know. I just think it's so strange.
I
Like
got tears.
the potential of the future of. I mean, just think. I mean, like a script writing, writing your resume to try to get a new job, or like a cover letter for your resume. Just
Already with those, a lot of people have noticed that there are computer system or computer programs that will run resumes through them, and they're looking for keywords like buzzwords for them to keep those and to discard the others. So some people like will fill out their resume and just load it full of these things. And people were doing that so often that they've had to rework some of their programs to where if they see so many of them, then they also have to filter those out, because they're like, okay, if there's a ton of buzzwords in it, that means it's somebody that knows the system, so we can't get them. And if they don't have enough, they don't know about it, and they're still not
Well, I
getting
mean,
it.
if they're motivated enough to put that many in there,
I want that
I
kind
would
of
want
employee.
them. Yeah.
Yes. But there's also this app on my phone called Dream, and it is an artificial intelligence making artwork. Like it makes a painting, and you get to set the genre of painting, and it is awesome.
I've seen some of that stuff.
It's awesome.
Didn't you make us one?
Yeah. I made it like the cosmic grapevine. I typed that in because what you do is you type in a keyword or phrase, and it uses those words or phrases as something, as a thing to, I guess, search parts of the internet to work on how it needs to get the color scheme and certain like strokes. And I don't know, whenever you see like a human face in it, it's very skewed to where it's not a perfect human face, but when you look at it, you know there's a face there, but it's not, perfect or anything.
Right, yeah. There's some sort of uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, to me, it's just really cool, the possibilities. Right now, it's just funny.
Yes.
And so it's just like, this is hilarious. And like people have kind of been picking up on it. Netflix is a joke. What is that? Because
that's a tag that a lot of stand-up comedians are using to kind of help promote their new specials.
and Netflix is kind of in on it.
Yeah.
Okay, but cool.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, because it's like, it's not content that's on Netflix, but it's content I see a lot on YouTube and stuff. And there's this guy named Keaton Patti. And he wrote this book called I Forced a Bot to Write This Book. And he just, I don't know, he has all these skits on Netflix is a joke that are just so funny. And, like the bots help write the scripts, and then he acts in them, and like computer graphics and stuff like that. Just the humor is like really, really funny and really relevant. I don't know. I just thought that y'all would really get a kick out of stuff like that, and people listening should check it out too.
What was his name again?
His name's Keaton Patti.
Okay.
But there's also like his book he wrote is called I Forced a Bot to Write This Book. But he had always posted on Twitter and stuff, like all these excerpts of stuff. And so I just wanted to kind of go off of this Instagram page called Bot Scripts. And I think they're kind of like excerpts taken out of his book.
Okay.
This first one is The Magic School Bus.
Oh.
Yes.
Can I ask one question
Yes,
before
please.
you read it?
Please.
So did he actually write this book, or did he actually get a AI to write it?
Don't spoil my topic. We'll get there.
Okay. Proceed.
Patience. Patience. The Magic School Bus. Interior of a schoolroom. A class of students spends time measuring birds. Student 1. My bird is 1 bird long. Student 2. Agreed. Where is our oddly teacher? A door dies as teacher Miss Fizzle is carried by 100 birds into the room. Miss Frizzle is weird since she enjoys her job. Miss Frizzle. Happy birthday, class. Your homework is to lay an egg. Will you do it for a grade? All students nod loudly, but student 5 does not. Student 5. No egg for me. Birds are bad, and I will not learn to be like them. Miss Frizzle. Learning is not a choice. Get in the bus and let it open your brain. Miss Frizzle aims her pet lizard at the children, and they get on the Magic School Bus. It can do anything a bus can do, and 15 things a bus can't do.
So I feel like student 5, who didn't want the egg, is in on the whole fact that birds aren't real.
Yeah.
We just went full circle.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure we will again before it's all over, because I want to do this next one. Well, I have to do this one. I can't skip this one. This one's The Golden Girls. Interior of Miami's kitchen. We see 3 women well acquainted with age. Blanche has the South in her mouth.
God.
Rose does not enjoy intelligence. Dorothy is divorced. They eat normal breakfast cheesecake. Blanche, I had a date last night. A date with a man. Dorothy, do you even know what man is? Dorothy dates less than Blanche, but she knows what a man is. Divorce was her teacher. Dorothy,
God.
where did date occur? The zoo where you live? Rose, Blanche lives here. Do we live in a zoo? Good, my dream came truth. In enters Sophia, mother of Dorothy. She's even older than Dorothy somehow. Everyone
Somehow.
Everyone in kitchen is older than kitchens.
It's like the meanest thing ever.
It's like its own character in the Golden Girls, just roasting them.
Sophia, girls, Plumber is here. Pipes full of cheesecake. Who did this? Blanche, I did this. Plumber will be man, and sex will become a possibility.
As Golden Girl experts, this could be real.
Absolutely.
Had you seen the Batman one from the Keaton Patti
No.
thing?
You got it?
Yes, I have it pulled up, and it's a really popular one that kind of started, at least on Reddit. I think this was one of the first ones that kind of blew up this whole idea of AI writing these ridiculous scripts. So, Batman, interior traditional Batcave. Batman stands next to his Batmobile and uses his Bat computer. He's sometimes Bruce Wayne, sometimes Batman, all times orphan. Spicy right off the bat.
Wow.
Batman, this is now a safe city. I have punched a penguin into prison. Alfred, Batman's loyal battler, carries a tray of gothed ham. Alfred, eat dinner, Mistress Wayne. An explosion explodes. The Joker and Two-Face enter the cave. Joker is a clown but insane. Two-Face is a man but attorney. Batman, no, it is Two-Face and One-Face. They hate me for being a bat.
Two-Face and One-Face.
Batman throws Alfred at Two-Face. Two-Face flips Alfred like a coin. Alfred lands heads up, which means Two-Face goes home. Batman continued. It is just you and I, the Joker. Bat versus clown. Moral enemies. The Joker. I'm such a freak. Society is bad. You drink water. I drink anarchy. Batman. I drink bats just like a bat would. Batman looks around for his parents, but they're still dead. God! This makes him have anger. He fires a bat rocket. The Joker deflects it with his sick sense of humor, a clownly power. The Joker, I have never followed a rule. That is my rule. Do you follow? I don't. Batman, Alfred, give birth to Robin.
God.
Alfred begins the process since it's his job. The Joker now has a present in his hands. He juggles it over to Batman. The Joker, happy birthday, Birthman. Batman opens the present since he's a good guy. It contains a coupon for new parents, but it's expired.
Aww.
This is a Joker's joke.
Oh my God.
Brutal.
So yes, this was the first one that I'd ever seen as well on Reddit, and it got me so happy.
Yeah.
And I saw that all I want to do is see stories that AI has written.
I know. Let's say there's a couple more if y'all want to read.
Yeah, the bot scripts also has one about another superhero as well. I'll read you about it real quick. Interior courtroom. We see Judge Judy, the angry mother of Gabbles. Her clothes are very law-abiding. She is judge, jury, and Judy. Announcer, this is Judy's restaurant of law. The cases are real. The people are real. The Judy is realistic. We see Judge Judy seems to be actual Judy. She sits on a bench. She's sentenced to be a chair. It upholds her. Judge Judy says, I awake when the rules break. Who has murdered the law of the late? A plaintiff stands in front of Judy. They have small claims, but Judy makes them large or medium.
Larger medium.
Judy controls sizes. My brother did drugs with my car. Now airbag is weed bag. He owes me a sober car or a new brother. A defendant clears his throat. Judy clears her everything.
Wow.
Defendant, he speaks words of craziness. I do not do drugs. I have eyewitness. A drug falls out of the defendant's mouth. It's not over the counter. It's extremely below the counter. The drug says, he does not do me. Judge Judy, eyewitnesses, you are not an eye. Do not pee on my leg and tell me it is the wet weather.
What the hell?
The drug. Okay, I won't do that. The defendant puts a drug back into his mouth spot. The bailiff bailiffs. This section of the commercial is for bailiffs. Judge Judy, I've decided you are innocent of being not guilty. Defendant, law words, say that in American. Judge Judy, you're a loser, so you lose. Loser. Judy bangs gavel. Defendant turns into a truck for the plaintiff. Plaintiff, I wanted car. The truck gets smaller, so it is a car. Judy controls sizes.
That's so good. Oh, God. Okay, I got one. Okay. Jurassic Park, The Fallen World Lost 3 Parked Dinosaurs.
That's the title?
Yes.
Good.
Exterior, Dinosaurs Island. The old man of Jurassic Park shows guests that it is a theme park, but the roller coasters are burly lizards. They jeep.
They jeep?
They jeep. Old man. Well, come to Jurassic Park. Here, dinosaurs live again as prisoners. Guest 1. How live? Did extinction lie again? The guests look at a dinosaur Stegosaurus. Its back is plates. Its front is bowls. Another dinosaur's forks. Old man, we found dinosaur trapped in amber, melted them out with warm frogs. Guess 2. A doing of DNA. Give up, God. Science gives what we want. Chaos.
Give up, God.
Give up, God. Science gives us what we want.
God gives up. The Jeep slows. There is a big guy playing with raptors. Dinosaurs with sharp brains and high heels. Guest 1. What's that dinosaur now? Old man. That dinosaur is man. He handles velociraptors. They were birds before. Everything was birds before. I was, you were, I was. Guest 4. Is it safe to be anywhere? Guest 4. Guest 4 was chicken before. A Tyrannosaurus Rex parasite, but falls. It falls next to the Jeep. It roars frustrated at not being able to be a flying pterodactyl pedinosaur.
What?
Yeah.
Silent P.
It was a P right in front of dinosaur. Pedinosaur. Old man, be invisible. It can't see you if you are invisible. The Tyrannosaurus Rex stares around. Big guy moves to it by punching the ground. He spiked big guy acid on the large nose. Big guy, this is our relationship. A clever volcano erupts, spewing out many hot dinosaurs. Old man, invisible. It is just like Disney's land.
after, selling it as this AI bot writing thing, that's kind of how I stumbled onto it. But, I think that it's just this guy.
It could be.
I think it's just him and he's funny.
And
maybe there is some suggestions from some AI softwares and things, but that's just my theory.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if the bot is actually capable of doing that yet.
Right.
So that's kind of the twist that I had to this topic, is that I think it's really just this guy, Keaton Patti, and it's just like I think he's just talented, and like Netflix is taking notice because just this brand of humor, like, because kind of the part of the fun is thinking that a bot wrote it.
Right.
But if I'm being truthful and if I'm being honest, I think it's just this guy that
Yeah.
wrote a really cool book, and now I want to buy it.
What if bots wrote Guardians of Justice?
They probably did.
Wouldn't that
trash.
make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. But I don't know. They like this. If it is him, because all of our examples were from him, right? Did we all get?
Yeah. Those are all from the bot scripts Instagram page.
Okay, gotcha.
So if y'all want to check those out, go there.
Runs, right.
Well, I think it's just based on his book.
Okay.
So
I gotcha.
all of it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
based on his
Okay.
work, because he writes for The Onion. Like, he's actually this really, successful guy. He writes for Jimmy Kimmel or one of the late night hosts. And just check out some of his Netflix as a jokes material, because it's basically these kinds of stories given animation and acting,
so good.
terrible
Yeah.
acting and terrible animation.
Right.
But it just all adds to the charm and the hilariousness of it.
If it is him mainly writing it, like brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Absolutely
I'm going to
brilliant.
buy that book, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Oh, I want it.
Yeah, me too.
So after an AI has spent time creating all of this stuff, I think that we need to shift gears into creating something of our own that might be familiar.
Just as ridiculous as that stuff?
Just as ridiculous as that. But here recently, I've been watching something on the television, and you know how it goes when I watch things on the TV. It sparks my brain to do other things. I've been watching a show that is it's a reality television show that was broadcast on Fox Network for 7 seasons, 92 episodes.
It sounded like you said 70
No,
seasons?
no, for 7 seasons.
7 seasons. Okay.
Yeah,
It
for
sounded like you said 70
well,
seasons. I was like, dear goodness gracious.
Yeah, well, he probably could go in and fix these restaurants better in 70 seasons, but because there's a lot of restaurants that need his help, but at the same time, he had himself a big time with Kitchen Nightmares. And Kitchen Nightmares was starring, of course, celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, and this is where he would go into these kitchens that were, ill-to-do. They weren't doing very well. They were either, ran poorly, or the cooks were awful, or just unorganized, or just bad. And I was thinking, Marcus has several occasions brought us something called reimagined movies.
Reimagined.
Reimagined movies, reimagined. And today we are reimagining our own movie, and that is going to be Hell's Kitchen. Not Hell's Kitchen, excuse me.
Reimagined TV. Reimagined.
That's what
Kitchen Nightmares?
yeah, Kitchen Nightmares.
Reimagined Kitchen Nightmares.
Yes, because Hell's Kitchen is what he was originally on when he was training all the chefs.
Also a good show.
Yes, but Kitchen Nightmares I thought would be absolutely fantastic if we wrote a horror movie about celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay going to help out this kitchen that's in trouble. But we need to figure out where it's going to be set. We need to figure out what's going on in it, and we need to figure out the rest of the movie. So this is where we're going to get into the tropes. Like,
So it's Gordon Ramsay being Gordon Ramsay, right?
oh, of course, like,
Gordon Ramsay just, in a horror. Yeah, I get it. I think I get it.
Does he know he's in a film? Or
Of
does
course.
he think he's just walking into a kitchen nightmare?
Well, since it's reality TV, I assume it's real life.
Alternate reality TV.
Yeah.
I want it to be still set like he does his little side offs with the camera and everything else too, like just to give updates about what he's got going on in the kitchen and everything too. So
Yeah.
I think that would be even like he would be just in dire peril, and he would take a side just to talk to the camera for a second.
Well, if you've ever seen the show, I mean, he's not just fixing their restaurant. He's saving their freaking lives, dude.
Yes.
He's saving their marriages. He's
Yep.
like saving them from like ruining their lives financially. They really play that up in the show. So I see where you're going. It's like he's like this kind of a superhero
Yes.
guy
Yeah.
who's coming to this restaurant to almost ghost busted or something.
Yes.
Like,
so that's exactly what I saw, because he's showing up in his big white chef's coat. He's going there just to fix all the problems that they've got, even their family problems, even their emotional traumas, all this stuff. He's going there to fix it. But now there's an added layer of difficulty he's going to have to scrub through to get this kitchen clean.
Oh, hold on. Can I?
Go ahead, Tiny.
Okay. Okay. Gordon Ramsay has to fight Freddy Krueger.
And I could see him getting one swipe on
Gordon
his
versus Freddy.
I could see him getting one swipe on his chef's coat and just being like, "Your knives are f***ing dull."
Yes.
did you not think to sharpen them?
You work in dreams. This is reality. Wake up. But we're going to have to first figure out where the location is that Gordon's going to be going to for this, and we're going to do the random trope on that to find out just where his location is that this kitchen is located.
Oh, no.
And it says that it's going to be located on
hell.
Darkest Africa. So
I don't think that's...
I think that it's ancient.
Reroll.
Yeah, that's what that.
We're not qualified.
Okay. Try another one. The casino.
Perfect.
Takes place at the casino. So he's on the Vegas Strip, and there's just this failing restaurant inside of a casino.
Yes.
And he's gone in there to save it. What is that restaurant's name that's inside of that casino?
Ka-Chang's, and it's a Chinese restaurant. This is realistic. It could be called that. Because money.
I love it and I hate it at the same time.
Oh, me too. But it's a casino restaurant.
Ka-Chang's?
Yeah.
Asian cuisine, yes. Ka-Chang's.
Yes.
Okay.
P.F. Chang's is a thing.
Ka-Chang's is
Yeah.
that's the restaurant. Okay.
Thank you.
We
got it in one.
That's it. We did it. We've got Pete. Ka-Chang's Asian cuisine inside of. Okay, so and now he's going to go there, and he's going to have to face something now. As he goes into the restaurant, he's going to be met with the family that's owning this restaurant.
Okay.
And they are going to be, I don't know, what needs to be the description of the family, because, you're in a horror movie.
Pathetic.
Are they just downtrodden, just completely just broken people? Are they going to be, really optimistic but confused as to why stuff keeps happening?
I think they're almost cultish. They're kind of just crazy.
Yeah.
But you can't put your finger on why they are. Like, there's something off about them.
Kind of like the episode of Kitchen Nightmares at that bakery that he ended
God,
up leaving.
right.
I don't know this one.
Oh yeah, this one of the more
There was
famous
a cult?
ones.
Blonde chick
man.
and a
Not a
Greek
cult.
dude.
It wasn't
But
cold, but they were just
insane.
Strange.
crazy. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm thinking they also have a gambling addiction, and so they're never in the restaurant. They're they're always
They just
at
leave
the casino.
They just leave it all to the cook, Freddy.
Yes, it's just him.
Okay, I'm going to do some random trope generators as to what he's going to encounter as far as what happens in the kitchen. Okay, so this one says there's two. Okay. You got to pick it. Resist the beast or horror hunger. Like you have a craving for flesh, like cannibalism.
Marcus.
Yeah.
The cult, you want them to this to be like cultish almost, you're saying? Like something weird. What if they do like rituals to summon demonic beasts to cook as the food, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So him facing the beast, like he may have to team up with the chef Krueger.
Well, I mean, what beast could be the sous chef? Because there's always a couple of chefs.
But that's what they're going. That's what the meat that they serve at this restaurant is.
Yeah,
like
instead of
summoned like demonic beasts.
Oh, so it's the summoned demonic meat. Okay,
that's the meat. But what was the second? So the first
confused.
one is face the beast.
Well, the first one was resist the beast.
Resist the beast. Okay.
But the second one was horror hunger. So you're eating unknown, like crazy, gross food. Like
whether it could be both.
Cthulhu sushi.
Both in one.
Yeah, that could definitely work. So we've got
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu sushi.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
That's their name.
Yeah.
Not my proudest canon.
so Gordon's, of course, going to respond like, I can't believe this. This is the most heinous thing I've ever seen in the kitchen. You can't provide fresh products to your company or to your guests because you're here summoning them all. You're summoning the food instead of buying fresh from local markets.
They're not even from this planet. They taste awful.
But, okay, so he's got that going on, and he's had his encounter now in the kitchen with Chef Freddy Krueger, who is slicing and dicing these demonic beasts in which they are summoning for the meat for their restaurant. Also, there are other tropes that they are going to run into inside of the restaurants, and I wanted the Grapes to be pre-prepared for which one would be their favorite here. So, he's in the restaurants and like Kitchen Nightmares, he would always discover like storage rooms or things like that, because he would see this basement area and he'd be like, well, what's down here? So, I mean, what do you think they discover down in the walk-in cooler there, Marcusio?
I think he goes in and he starts to see like this film, just kind of like as he walks into the walk-in cooler, and like from the floor it just kind of creeps up the walls like vines, and he basically just finds an eldritch abomination in the walk-in cooler.
Oh, something that they've summoned that they probably haven't killed all the way. They're keeping it there for spare parts.
I'm thinking that this is like the Cthulhu, like he's the eldritch abomination. So this is the one that's like over the whole plot, kind of. So this is who the cultists are actually kind of praying to for food to sell, and so he's kind of giving them just like his offspring to cook. But they're praying to this eldritch abomination that's starting to grow. He's actually like not a physical being, but he's being manifested in the cooler. And the rot and the grease and the just disgust roaches and all that.
And I think that would absolutely fit with the trope that I sent Dane, because, of course, there's going to be someone working within the restaurant that has a problem with the way the owners are running it. And they're going to, of course, have the, I don't believe in eating this type of stuff. I'm going to be against you because of this.
It's because I'm a humanitarian. Is the name of this.
So he has compassion for like the offspring of the eldritch abomination?
Yes.
Oh, can he have one as a pet? I like this character already.
He has a pocket protector and glasses, and occasionally you'll see just like one little tentacle like pop over the pocket protector because he keeps it in the pocket.
I want this guy to have the most meaningless job in this restaurant too. Like whoever this guy is, he like literally, like I don't know, packs the toothpick holder. Like that's what he does. He's the toothpick guy.
He just walks around with a little funnel because he refills the salt shakers.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. But no one is eating there because the business is going under. So he's just standing there with his funnel and the toothpicks in one hand, the funnel in another, and he's got nothing to do.
They just let him work here,
And he's just, because they want the restaurant to go under, but not in that way.
Right.
They
could be siphoning like blood off of him like a little bit at a time. Like he could actually be like a source to where they need it for the ritual. So the humanitarian character, like he's having to be bled kind of for this, but he doesn't know
unknowingly. Yeah.
And
the toothpicks.
Yes.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's
good.
That is awesome.
It's too good.
What's Tiny's trope?
Tiny's trope would fit in whenever.
I didn't get a trope.
Yeah, you did.
You didn't send it to me.
I did in our Grapevine text thread.
I even scrolled through and didn't see it.
It's in the notes
Cue
page.
the music.
Werebeast tropes.
So I want Gordon to come in contact now.
I think these are like werejackals, and it's the family. The family are werejackals.
Yes.
That are worshiping the eldritch abomination.
Yes, because they eat and consume death. Hence, they worship the god of death, Cthulhu.
Oh my goodness!
Or something
gracious.
similar to avoid copyright.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's why I mispronounced it as Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
So we have beautiful pieces of this puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Making it now. What's the frame? How does it finish?
The frame it's gonna have to be.
He's got to fix this kitchen.
He's got to fix the kitchen. Let's see if I can.
This
find...
is a tough one.
There's got to be some trope that's like, I don't know, getting someone that like the chef Kruger. You would never expect him to be the hero that's needed, but the more powerful person in Gordon Ramsay, like,
He's
leaves
gonna
it up to
inspire
him.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
the inspiration.
He talks to Chef Kruger and he gives him one of his world famous Gordon Ramsay pep talks to where he's going to be like, you might be the master of dreams, but this isn't a dream. This is reality, and this is your kitchen.
Yes.
You have to treat your kitchen like it's the kitchen of your dreams.
Stop going into other people's dreams and chase your own dreams.
What did he stop going
Well,
into?
plus,
Other people's dreams, and he starts chasing his own dreams to being a great chef.
Cthulhu affects his worshipers and his acolytes through dreams, correct?
Yes.
And so Freddy would be able to go into their dreams and battle him out and actually save them from his influence, too.
Ooh.
Now, is there anything that you can say to me in order to let me know that you're receiving the information I'm giving you? And Freddie just looks at his hand, his gloved, knifed hand, and he said, there's only one way that we can stop this, Chef, and that's together. And he hands Gordon Ramsay a Freddy Krueger glove with 4 freshly sharpened chef knives.
Cut to credits. We got a sequel.
Yes.
Well, have you ever seen, like, there's one called, like, 24 Hours in Hell where he actually, like, the cover of the show is Gordon Ramsay with knives in between his fingers like Wolverine.
Oh, incredible.
jeez.
So he's already kind of
he's down
been
with it.
foreshadowed
Yes.
He's down with it.
to take up that mantle.
And because the last words that you see before the screen cuts to black, if we're really going to solve this family's problems, we're going to have to see if the glove fits.
And I hope this episode of Nerd It Through the Grapevine fit you like a glove. Thank you for listening on iTunes, Spotify, CastBox, Audible, insert name of thing that sound comes out of here. And thank you for giving us 5 stars wherever you do that, and for writing a review wherever you can, mainly on iTunes, like for whatever reason, algorithm, things like that. So if you love us, please rate 5 stars, tell people why. If you hate us, do that too, but with the 5 stars as well. And also, if you want to wear us on your body at any time, possibly drink liquids from us, you can go to the Teespring link in the description of this episode, and you can go buy t-shirts or coffee mugs or all kinds of stuff on there. And it's real neat, cool stuff. And you could do that.
And if you're like me and you've ever gotten a piece of rotten fruit or vegetable inside of your food at Fazoli's, we can talk about that on the Nerd Grapevine Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook page. Just search at Nerd Grapevine. Or if you wanted to donate a little bit to us, be a little bit of the contributing factor, and while we keep doing what we're doing, because we make all this money off of it, and we feed our families off of it.
We got to pay Gordon Ramsay somehow.
I know it would pay off to pay the man. Just get on Patreon. Best Friends period, Tiny Ink period is what you search on Patreon, and donate a little bit. You can get a shiny holographic Nerd It Through the Grapevine sticker and unlock future content that we have not previously released on air. If you have gotten a Band-Aid in your Arby's sandwich, don't tell everybody how you still loved the sandwich afterwards because you put extra horsey sauce on it, because that might cause them to have a little bit of...
We've also not released those things on land or sea. And the worst part about fighting somebody is they always fist each other in the face. Yeah. That hurts your face and your fist. It's really dumb. Fist them in the torso, not the face. Get on Discord and talk about fisting people. Join the Backyard Bonanza. Obviously, we don't condone going out and fisting strangers, because that's assault and that's a crime. So get on the Discord, check out our memes, check out what's been canon. You can talk to us live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably circumcised.
So in the sequel, he could be like, get burnt, Gordon, and then he time travels and he actually was Freddy the whole time.
Oh my God.
When life gives you grapes, Dane.
After blowing my mind like that, you asked me this kind of question? When life gives me grapes, I'm going to set them on the floor of a walk-in cooler. I'm going to grab all of your hands, and we'll be in a circle around the grape in the cooler. And we will chant at this grape. And we will chant in unison.
Hell graping.
And that's what the grape says from the floor because it starts talking.
But when we get shut down by the health department because you're not supposed to have food in the floor.
Our grapes are so awesome. Grapes, hell yes.
They're awesome.
Such great grapes.
And anyway, here's Wonderwall.